Hello, hello. So I've been meaning to do something kind of like this for a while now. Um, Everybody has a sort of intro to their page or to their content and whatever. I'm just winging it here. Not saying I'm the next Hassan or Vosh or XQC or whatever other big namer is out there. I'm not even going to try. I'm just doing this more as I'm a lonely introvert, and who knows, someone else might enjoy just hanging out and listening to whatever with me while I draw or whatever. Um, However, I do feel the need to put out a disclaimer. Um, you'll see various places that I am a widow. I don't see this for clout or, oh, pity me, I was hurt recently and I'm still hurting. Yes, I am. But it's more that I'm not looking for a relationship and I don't really want to hear about other people's sometimes. Good for you that you have a relationship with another person. It's just, I don't want to hear about it. Thanks. Keep it away from me. Um, that said, I'm not going to go and shit on someone's parade. If they're happy about something, by all means, good for you. Good for you and your partner if it's a mutual thing for you. Okay. But don't flaunt it too much around me. It hurts seeing other people happy sometimes. And I try to let it not bother me, but the problem is sometimes it does. And that's nobody else's fault but my husband's. That said, um, God, I feel so fucking ridiculous about this. Um, that said, I'm in my mid 30s. I've seen a lot of both sides of arguments and try to stay as center as I can about most of them. I do my best to try and educate those I consider friends, if I'm able to, through whatever social media I possibly can. Unfortunately, and Facebook even tries to censor my content when I mention a certain other country in relation to how Facebook is reacting as a social platform and is similar to another one out of that other country. Not going to say anything because if I do, this is probably going to end up getting hella banned. Otherwise, I'm an adult and I try to have as many adults in my circle as I can. Because I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sit here and act like the last 30 years of intellectual, well, censorship has just gone by the wayside and nobody's paid attention. By that, I mean the education system is horrible and hasn't been able to evolve or update in the last 30 years to be able to keep up with the internet, especially in the US. Some schools are doing better. They're providing laptops for classes. That's friggin' amazing. I heard that one group even did a class project in Minecraft. in 2002. That was amazing. It looked at good education, moving forward, finding new things to engage kids, to teach them. That said, when parents cherry pick one or two books in a school library and start pearl clutching or fear mongering based on that one book or one or two books by that same person who, oh, hey, this is actually kind of more self affirming and not actually as dark as you're playing it out to be, that needs to stop. You pay your tax dollars, you have your kid in this school, you have every right to control what they read, but instead of making it so that no other school student can read that, you tell your child you're not able to read that yet because you don't understand this particular concept yet. Don't make it so that no other child who may be more mature than yours can read about that. The reason that people are so scared of certain concepts is because they're different or they're foreign to them as an individual. And they're afraid of what that might mean to how their child moves forward in life. And they're scared because they don't want to have to explain that. Too many people are afraid of being straight with one another. And I'm not going to lie, um, recently I became aware of a term, therapy speech or trauma dumping. Lord knows I am very much guilty of that. So instead of dumping it on a friend all the time, as I have been, which has recently led to a couple of friendships ending because they couldn't take my criticism or trauma dumping as that. I'm not going to get into it here. This is, again, just more of an intro. I'm not going to openly hate on people. That's not me. And unless somebody comes at me spouting falsehoods or making accusations, well, I will fire back if I can. Uh, that said, um, I had a few other things here that I wanted to kind of lightly touch on. Um, Another thing that always bothers me is context in a conversation. So many people will say small snippets of a bigger story and expect you to wait until they continue. It's like, I understand you have a short attention span and takes you a few minutes to type something out. Don't just keep hitting enter and expect me to comment every time. If that's what you're wanting to do or telling a story, tell me to give you a minute and I'll wait. Use a document file in another program or Notepad if you need that time. Google is your friend and has a built-in grammar check. Uh, Regardless, that also leads into how backwards the education system has gone, in that some common sense things just go out the window. When you're asked to do something, yes, it means now. Not, oh, when you get a chance. No, when your supervisor or coworker asks you to go and do something, you go and do it. You don't just like stare at them and nod, continue with what you're doing, and then go and do it whenever you feel like it. No. If you're at work and you're being asked to do something, they usually are asking you to do it for a reason. And it needs to be time sensitive. Plain and simple. Um, the one that really, really bugs me that so few people think about anyway is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In other words, if you're going to be nice to somebody, normally you would expect them to be nice back. So when you go up to somebody with a smile on your face and they're just scowling for no reason, least you can do is nod. Or if you're in a bad mood, just kind of wave. But just ignoring somebody who's trying to be nice, that's just, well, that's hurting your image now, isn't it? When out in public, if you're in a restaurant, say, and you have quite a bit of garbage left over, have it on the plate. Don't leave it all over the counter or the table or on the floor if you can avoid it. Servers ain't got time for that shit, especially in a busy, fairly seedy restaurant. Uh, Outside of that, it's like, are you treating it like this is your own home? Yes. Why? Because you're not. The least you can do is think, I don't want to leave a huge mess because what if it was me cleaning that? Because we've all been there. And those that haven't need to give their heads a shake. Or those that have somehow managed to avoid that is very surprising. Because more often than not, first jobs are fast food jobs of some form, or retail, which I managed to avoid very narrowly. But I work security now, and it's no walk in the park or cushy office job, let me tell you. Moving on. Um, People, I don't know where kids get this impulse from, or why parents don't actively try and stop their children or offspring, let's say, from picking leaves off of trees or breaking branches. Why? Why do you want to do that? Oh, stick. You can find plenty of sticks when they fall off of trees in the fall or early spring, because that's when it tends to happen after windy storms and shit like that. Don't go picking new greenery off of a tree that's been asleep for 4 or 5 months for no reason. It's like, how would you feel if someone started picking off your clothing or hair? There's no thought in some of these younger kids, like, and I'm meaning like 7, 8 years old, that go and pull branches and leaves, like small branches given, or the younger plants or trees that are planted in parks that are just recently uh, construction upgraded. Like, why? outside of that, uh, I have a lot of different projects, head worlds, stuff in the works that I've been slowly working on for decades, like since I was young. I didn't know where I was going to go with it initially, only that it was going to form something bigger that I am starting to realize is way bigger than I should have gone. But I'm hoping to hopefully bring that forth and have a good community and mature adults within it. Um, Outside that, I hope people will enjoy my content. I'm not looking for handouts or anything like that. If there's enough interest, I might create a Patreon. Well, I have a Patreon, I just haven't really set it up. I have heard so much back and forth with it, as well as with Ko-Fi and other payment platforms and how much they cut. And I don't even know anymore at this point. I'm still looking for a lot of advice, and I recommend you check out my links. Go to my card. It's Samateus, SAMATEUS .CARRD.CO for all of my links and everything. And, well, I'm hoping to also post this as my intro. So thank you for listening, and, well, let's see if we can keep going.